It's a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are NC.
Royals baseball tonight from Kauffman Stadium. The grind begins. After 2 days off in a week, the Royals will play 30 games in the next 32 days, beginning tonight with the Oakland A's. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ballpark with Rex Hudler. I'm Ryan Lefevre. Joe Goldberg and Jeff Montgomery are coming up. Okay, so explain to our viewers who are looking forward to the weekend, they're looking forward to vacation, some time off. Why is time off bad for a baseball player?
Oh, Rhino, it's the squaring up of the round ball and the round bat. It just can drive you crazy. Not only physically is it difficult, but mentally it can drive you wacko. It's really a strange game, but you need the timing. You got to have it. 30 games in 32 days, that's exactly the recipe the Royals are looking for. Get some timing in. Forget about those off days in April. Now, they'll take them in September, but right now, nose to the grindstone.
Roster moves. Biggest area of concern right now is the bullpen with a 7.77 ERA.
Knew it was coming. There's no question about it. Alexander looked good in the spring. Jake Junis has been on their radar. Let's see what they can do.
The flip side of that, the starters' ERA is 2.88. That's fourth best in the American League. And the baton is handed to Jason Hamill tonight. Jason Hamill goes tonight, Hud, and in Minnesota, like a lot of pitchers, was bit by the walk bug, but he battled and gave up just 3 runs in 5 innings.
Bottom line for the boss, Ned Yost, says, hey, look, if you keep my team in the game, our offense, they'll come around, they'll help you. That's what they're doing. But overall, the starting rotation first time through, 2.88 ERA, they'll take that any day.
Ned Yost has been asked about his starter's ERA, and while he's happy that it's a 2.88 ERA, he feels like it's going to get better than that because, as we just described, it's been a grind for some of the guys in their starts.
It has, and you know, they haven't pitched up their potential yet, but it's awfully early. These guys will settle in, but still, so far, so good.
And while we're talking about guys who haven't reached their potential yet, how about the flip side? Someone who's given the Royals more than they were hoping for at this point. Joel and Monty will talk about Peter Moylan when we come back.
Rusty Kuntz working on some pickoff moves, and then some of the bullpen pitchers talking it over in the dugout. And speaking of bullpen pitchers, Royals Hall of Famer Jeff Montgomery out here with me, Joel Goldberg. Monty, you always talk about the first couple of weeks, guys needing to settle in the pen.
Yeah, normally depending on who comes back from the previous year, and we know there's been a lot of turnover in this Royals bullpen, it takes a while, maybe 2, 3, 4 weeks for those roles to define themselves.
Well, our Kia in the driver's seat takes a look at one of the bright spots in what has been a rough bullpen so far. That would be Peter Moylan. 5 games pitched, 4 2/3 innings, no runs, no hits. How's he done it?
Well, I think the biggest thing for Peter Moylan, he's gone out there and he's been consistent. He's come in some huge situations, and the result has been perfect. He's stranded all 6 of the runners. I think that's probably the most impressive thing, because that allows his team to have a chance to battle back, get back in ball games, and hopefully win a ball game.
And at 38 years old, Australian, he's been here, he's been back, he's been hurt. He can really help those young guys.
Oh, without a doubt, that presence he has in that bullpen, that experience he has, and especially like a guy like Jake Junis tonight, may make his major league debut. Guys like Moylan, they can lend a lot of assistance to him.
That Jake Junis, one of a couple of call-ups to help reinforce that bullpen. And Jason Hamill looking for big things in his first home start as a Royal. Ryan and Rex have the call coming up.
Royals baseball on Fox Sports Kansas City is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors, official sporting goods retailer of the Kansas City Royals. Well, in a regular season game, the Royals have never faced tonight's Oakland pitcher Andrew Triggs. But in a spring training game this year, they scored 8 runs in fewer than 4 innings against him with 3 home runs. The first pitch is coming up next. Baseball on Fox Sports Kansas City is brought to you by the Missouri Lottery. Every ticket played gives back to Missouri schools, so play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. By Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by Ford, going further so you can. "73 degrees, not bad for April the 12th. And the forecast is going to call for high temperatures in the next 4 days and 5 of the next 6 days. And tonight, with the wind blowing out of the south, it is blowing out to left field. Not much offense for either team on opening day. The A's won 2-0 behind a 2-run home run from Chris Davis. Both teams were dealing with the shadows. That's not going to be an issue tonight.
No, but Rhino, one team, our guys, the Royals, were dealing with a heavy emotion of saying goodbye again to their teammate Ace. The grieving process is almost finished. Now they're trying to heal, and I think that went a long way in that. Really, they should have just called that game off after the ceremony and played it yesterday on the off day, and our Royals, I guarantee you, would have been better. Very heavy hearts.
Jason Hamill, 4 walks, 3 runs in 5 innings on Thursday against Minnesota. It took a no decision. The Twins won that game 5-3. That tied his season high 4 walks from last year. So very rare for him to have that many walks. And now his Kauffman Stadium debut as a Royal. And his first pitch is inside to Marcus Semien. Of course, the last time he pitched here was with the A's against the Royals in the 2014 wild card game.
Yeah, now I would expect him to be able to pitch a little bit more under control, have a little bit better command. It was cold in Minnesota, and when it's cold, the ball's slippery, slick. Not making any excuses for him, but Hosmer's got that one.
2-0 pitch right down the middle is fouled to Eric Hosmer. 1 down.
The Royals forward around the horn defense. Alex Gordon, we're going to highlight him. 4th career start in right field. First since a long time in 2010. He can play anywhere, though. Really, he's a fantastic athlete. Moss is going to get his first opportunity to play in left. Alex has a little bit better throwing arm. You like your stronger arms in right field. Moss he's adequate out there. I mean, he played for the Cardinals last year. They don't have a designated hitter, so he was playing a lot.
Here's Matt Joyce with 1 out. He was 1 for 4 in the game on Monday. Off speed and in for a strike.
That's Hamill's pitch. That's slider. Fastball is going to set it up, curve and change. Opponents don't hit much on the slider. Not many do. It's a tough pitch to hit. It has a little bit more of a break. Almost has like a little slurvy break to it, but it's tight and it's pretty good command with it. Likes to finish off down below the knees.
Up in the zone here in the first inning, and now 3-1 on Joyce. Fastball at 92 and a full count with Lowry on deck.
That's about where he'll top out. I mean, he might throw some 93s.
And a 1-out walk. Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard, and continue to talk about that slider. Only 3 other pitchers in the major leagues last year threw a slider at a higher percentage than Jason Hamill. Royals saw Irvin Santana on opening day in Minnesota. And that's a pitch that has not only gotten better for him, but it has made him a better pitcher. If you want to look at one category for his success in his 30s. Now he's 1-0 on Lowry, missing upstairs again.
It's 6'6". That's a nice angle, especially when he stays on top and drives down. That's always your key when you're 6'6".
To Mondesi, out at second. Double play. So that erases the walk. The A's send just 3 to the plate. Gordon, Moustakas, and Kane coming up against Andrew Triggs. Triggs Alex Gordon is in right field tonight. So Brandon Moss will be in left, and Schessler Cuthbert will be the Royals' designated hitter tonight. Andrew Triggs was originally drafted by the Royals in the 19th round in 2012. The Royals traded him to the Baltimore Orioles, and then the A's picked him up off of waivers from Baltimore. Career high 91 pitches on Thursday against the Angels, and did not allow an earned run in 5 2/3 innings.
How about that? You shut them down, especially with Pujols and Trout in that lineup. You've done something.
Royals saw him as a reliever, and when they drafted him, they immediately placed him in the bullpen. The Orioles did the same thing. The A's have used him mostly as a reliever, and now getting a shot in the starting rotation. 1-1 to Alex. He was 0 for 4 in the game on Monday. Oakland pitching, most notably Jarrell Cotton, held the Royals to no runs, 3 hits in the first game of this series. 2-1.
Triggs, and he comes from left field with that arm angle. I mean, he's straddling the far right side of the rubber. If he's standing on it to his right, you see where he is. That's to create an angle, but he's going to sink his fastball a little bit. A little cutter, quick curve. Try to sink that. About 90 miles an hour will be his average.
He is very much a contact pitcher. In that start against the Angels, he had 1 strikeout in 5 2/3 innings. And of his 91 pitches on Thursday, Hud, he only had 3 swings and misses.
So you're telling me they got to find a hole. Make some contact with him, and how about the walk? Oakland A's on their defense. They've had a tough time this year in the last few years. They've made at least 1 error in 5 straight games this year, but we're going to highlight Vogt. That's a positive. He's an offensive catcher. He's known for his hitting, throwing out 20% of the runners. Not bad. 30's really good.
Fastball at 92, 0-1 on Moustakas. Moustakas had hit safely in the Royals' first 6 games against Minnesota and Houston, but was 0 for 4 on Monday. One and one.
Outfield playing straight up on Moose. Everybody's straight. Center fielder, he's right up there, almost straight up. See left. See those guys? They're all waiting for a Moose bomb.
There's the slider, and it's 1-2.
To a left-handed hitter, you see that release point very well. Not as much so as a right-handed batter. Coming from behind your back, so you're gonna wait. It's the key.
And he's probably going to throw sliders like that one, or you want to keep it away, because if that slider comes in on a lefty,
it's very, very flammable.
Never fair, and a bullet into the upper deck. Fan took a shot at trying to catch that one with his bare hands. And he'll be feeling that a week from now.
Yeah, now that was the one you were talking about. He started that slider in the middle of the plate and ended up almost hitting Moose, but he was already committed to it.
Andrew Triggs is 28 years old. The Royals drafted him out of USC. Fastball away, and he has his first strikeout.
See where he's holding that's two-seamer. See, it starts look like it's straight, but it just moved off the plate. Really a good spot. Moose probably guessing right with the fastball, but not hittable.
So drafted by the Royals, traded to the Orioles, and then waived by the Orioles and picked up by the A's prior to last year, where he appeared in 24 games and made only 6 starts. Up the middle, and Simeon couldn't get it out of his glove in time. Nice diving effort up the middle, but no out. And the Royals have 2 on with 1 out.
Hey, that'll work. Simeon, nice job of gloving it. This early in the game, the dirt infield has just been watered, so it's a little bit soft. It's not going to kick like Arizona and just bounce right on through. Alex makes me extremely nervous when he goes head first in there on a play like that, but he's okay. Sometimes you get your fingers all caught up in that bag, you know, when there's a player standing on that base, and it just makes me a little nervous. Probably Ned a little bit more. Royals with their 7th infield hit of the season, so that is one of their characteristics, and they'd like to continue to play some small ball and shorten up on their swings. They have struck out 29 times in the last 2 games.
Lorenzo Cain has now reached in 7 of the Royals' first 8 games, setting the inning up for Eric Hosmer.
Haas is straight up as well, infield and outfield.
0-1 slider that started outside.
Yonder Alonso is the first baseman for the Oakland A's tonight, and he's way off. He's back. Lorenzo Cain, with his speed on a well-placed ball, can score because he's getting a big lead. You see Alonso, he's sitting right there. Locane's keeping an eye on Gordon just in case he takes off.
Fastball away. Could really see the pitch sequence there. Breaking ball away that broke in for a strike, and then fastball away, trying to get Hosmer to think that that's going to break in for a strike too.
And it's deception there, and it's important for Haas just to kind of wait. We're trying to wait on it.
On the ground to Lowry, out at second, and the Royals and A's trade double plays in the first inning. So the leadoff walk does not turn into a run as Gordon is stranded. Kauffman Stadium, and let's welcome in Joe Goldberg.
And Ryan, you've talked about it. It's not a surprise that Alex Gordon is in right field, but we're so used to him being in left. Since 2010, no one in baseball has played more innings in left field than Alex Gordon. But he's played some other spots. Of course, we know about third base. First base, 180 innings back in 2007. He played a little right field back in 2010. And hard to remember a time when he played a little shortstop. But Alex told me today he remembers it, those 6 innings at shortstop. He said, oh yeah, Tony Pena Jr. got hurt that game in Detroit. He said, I felt like a kid on Christmas morning, and then all he got was 1 pop-up. But think about the amount of innings that he has played in left field since fully moving over and starting the year in 2011. The closest in innings played in left field in the majors is Matt Holliday, more than 1,600 plus, fewer than where he's played. No one has been close to Alex in left. Now we see him in right. Good chance we'll see him at center at some point.
If he gets his wish. He got it in spring training, and Ned Yost used him in center field. He's been bugging Ned about that for quite a while.
It's just a finely conditioned athlete that can help you in a lot of ways.
1-2 on Chris Davis. And down he goes. A fastball that tied him up. Davis hit the 2-run home run in the A's 2-0 win on Monday. On the topic of Alex, you can cheer him on in his fan section. For only $35, you get a seat in Gordo Nation, which is in left field. We might have to revisit that at some point in the season. For $35, you get the ticket, a limited edition Charlie Hustle brand T-shirt, and an Alex Gordon big head. So Gordo Nation will be tomorrow, the final game with the A's. One out to Stephen Vogt. He had a single, a double, and a walk on Monday. 1-1.
You know, Hamill's enjoying his first home start against one of his former teams. He likes that. He's friends with a lot of these guys. You like to compete against your buddies. You turn up the volume when that happens.
1-2.
Hard seeing that ball get up there in the twilight. Now it's a little bit of some gray sky. It could be difficult to pick up out of that sky on a fly ball for an outfielder or an infielder. This is the time of the night where you lose them.
Jammed him. So he's really tied up the first 2 hitters in this inning. And Mondesi makes the play. Jason Hamill last year pitched very well at home, 10-2, and you say, yeah, but he probably had great run support. Well, even if he did, his ERA was 2.42, and opponents hit just 191 against him, and that's at Wrigley Field, which most of the time is a hitter-friendly ballpark.
Yeah, that's shocking to me. But half of their games that wind is blowing out. I mean, when a pop-up would blow out of that ballpark.
This is Ryan Healy, and again pitching him inside, ball 1. Healy singled leading off the 4th inning on Monday, and he scored on the Chris Davis 2-run home run, and that was all the offense. 1-1.
Fastball, slider, mainly, you know, occasional change. He has a show me curve that he'll throw. It's like a show me curve. He's just going to show it to a hitter once in a while, which will lock him up at times, but mainly he throws that down out of the zone just for looks.
2-1. Healy's thinking to himself right now, okay, I get the point. He's pitching me in.
Doesn't want me to get my arms extended. Power hitter, upright stance.
So set him up for that beautifully.
That's the one thing, you know, when they start throwing you inside like that, and his best pitch is a slider, you got to know that's coming. He looked like he was lost on that.
Back inside. So you got to think Healy at this point right now is in protect mode.
Yep. He's a little defensive.
No idea what's coming next.
He's a little defensive. But that leg kick, you know, watch him when he picks up that leg like that. Now, see, he didn't do it as much there. Okay. 2-strike approach. He didn't hardly pick it up at all, like he did in the first 2 times before he got 2 strikes. That's what a power hitter will do. But that flamingo leg kick will throw you off balance. But see, it was down in plenty of time. He saw it. The ball stayed up. Good swing.
Not quite in the same spot as the slider before that one. So give him some credit after Hamill really set him up with the first 4 pitches. And here's Yonder Alonso. 0 for 3 with a walk in game 1, and he's now reached base safely in all 7 of the games he's played in. The A's last year did not have much of an offense. They were last in the league in runs scored. They were second from the bottom in team batting average, second from the bottom in stolen bases. And even though Chris Davis hit a lot of home runs, the A's were 12th in the league in that area. 1 ball and 1 strike on Alonso. 7th season for Bob Melvin, a 1-time Royal. He is a 500 manager, literally, with the Mariners, the Diamondbacks, and now the A's.
This is a 500 game. Anything over is pretty good. Melvin's got a lot of experience. But, you know, when you have Jed Lowry, who's a shortstop, second baseman, hitting third for you, kind of raises your eyebrows a little bit, thinking, wow, they got to have some more pop in there, or maybe he has him there for a reason. Obviously. Just not your typical third place hitter in a major league lineup. They got Trevor Plouffe. He's new. Rajai Davis is back.
Late call, a strike. Dana DeMuth is the home plate umpire. Ooh. And it appears that that was the right call.
Dana's in his 33rd season. Got 32 years under his belt. He's seen a few pitches behind the plate.
Salvi wants a fastball away to the left-hand hitting Alonso. And Hamill hit the target, or was going to hit the target, and it's fouled away.
Got some good plays being made in the stands already.
Hamill in 2014 made 13 appearances and 12 starts for the A's. Traded over from the Cubs, and then when the 14 season was over, he went back to the Cubs. Great pitch. Slider down. He gets 2 strikeouts in the inning and works around the 2-out single. Salvador Perez will lead off, hoping to start a new home run streak. Full Kauffman Stadium. Here's Salvador Perez, our Kubota Power Stats, tied with Chris Davis and Francisco Lindor for the second most home runs in the American League. George Springer has 5, and 4 of the 5 have been leadoff home runs, one of which against the Royals. Salvi takes outside. Salvi had homered in 4 consecutive games, and that ended on Monday, the longest such streak in Royals history. Mike Sweeney homered in 5 straight 15 years ago. 1-1 from Andrew Triggs.
Well, he sure gave it a shot that first time up. That ball he hit was hit in the air too high, and there was a stiff wind blowing from the left field foul pole to the right, so it kind of held it in.
Did he go? He did. Mark Wegner is the umpire at first base. 1-2. Brandon Moss is on deck, followed by Cheslor Cuthbert. Two and two.
It's been a long drought for any runs for the Royals offense. 13 straight scoreless innings, dating back to Brandon Moss's go-ahead home run in Houston.
Royals are 2-5. The A's are 4-4. Salvi going the other way and just foul into the corner.
Right idea, especially, you know, being a right-handed hitter. It's very difficult when that guy's thrown behind your back. It's like a lefty sidewinder to a left-handed hitter. The test will be, can you keep your shoulder in? And when you tell yourself, I'm going to keep my shoulder in and then hit the ball like Salvi just did, you're going to have a better chance of getting a base hit than pulling out.
And that's to the gap in right center field, and will go to the wall. Salvador Perez has a leadoff double. He had the right idea against Andrew Triggs.
Exactly. Just was talking about that. Nice job of keeping his front side closed. And you can see it's elevated. That's the big key. Salvi, with his long arms, we've seen him hit balls that are way outside, but I love the head position. See the head position? Stop it right there. Thank you. Head position's down. When you're looking down, you're not trying to pull that shoulder this way. You have a chance, and that was well struck. I thought it might be caught at first, but it's hit too hard. Very nice.
Brandon Moss takes a backdoor slider for a strike.
Now, if you're a left-handed hitter facing Triggs like this, think left field. Just keep your hands. You want to keep your hands inside that baseball, and then you'll naturally react on a ball up that's coming into you. You'll pull it, but think that way. It's going to help you stay closed.
That'll get Salvi to third. 1 out. That is 6-3 with the shortstop Simeon over on the right side of second base. Salvi chatting with third base umpire Chris Guccione. They worked together in the game on Monday. And the A's will bring the infield in halfway for Cheslor Cuthbert.
Sure would be nice if they could break that 13 straight scoreless streak here. They've got to get him in. Find a way.
Cheslor did not play in game 1 of the series. He is 2 out of 7 with a home run. 1 ball, 1 strike.
This is a big hitter here for Triggs. If he can somehow get him out and eliminates that possibility of them scoring that run. But for Cuthbert, he's got to feel pretty good that his manager put him in there as a designated hitter against a right-handed hitter. That gives you confidence.
Back to the pitcher. 2 down. So it's up to Alcides Escobar. Esky was 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts on Monday, and he's 1 for his last 10. Just off the outside edge, ball 1.
I think the offense is going through a little identity crisis. Got the power, obviously. They were right up there in the spring training amongst all of baseball and homers, but yet their signature is put the ball in play. Contact. Frenzy style hitting. Station to station. Get them on, get them over, get them in. It's going to take some time for them to get their timing back.
1-2 on Esky. That pitch got a lot of the plate and it was up, but the angle hardly makes it seem like a hittable pitch.
That's right down the middle. Yeah. Good swing.
And if he's coming over the top, that's one thing, but with his angle there against a right-hander.
No, it's knifing in there.
That's to left center field and caught on a dive by Rajai Davis.
Oh. Whoa, what a play. That looked on contact like that was going to fall on the coffin. Beautiful green grass here. Esky will have to regroup. Get him next time. Davis. Nice.
Salvador Perez leadoff double. Time for the unlimited baseball break, brought to you by T-Mobile. Yoenis Cespedes with his second career 3-home-run game. 14-4 win at the Phillies, and if that night wasn't big enough, the Mets hit 7 home runs in that game at the Phillies in a good home run hitting park. Trevor Plouffe leads off the 3rd inning with a base hit into center field, and if the Indians weren't stacked enough, now they've got Michael Brantley back from 2 different shoulder operations, and he delivered a big hit for the Indians.
Yeah, good for him. You know, he was bummed last year as much success as the Indians had in almost winning the World Series. He wasn't a part of it, but he's back. He was patient. Shoulder injury, biceps injury.
Trying to come back too soon.
Yep.
Rajai Davis just saved a run with a dive in left center field taking a hit and an RBI away from Escobar. That was Trevor Plouffe's first hit of this series. Tempted, but he takes high. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, the A's last year were -72 in defensive runs saved. That was last in Major League Baseball. No wonder they had a tough time. But Davis saved a run right there.
They made 97 errors last year, which was the second most in the league. But the year before, they made 126 errors. So they've had a bad run on defense.
Speed and athleticism got that. On contact, when you're an outfielder like that with speed, you see that ball, you never take your focus off of the ball, and you just run right to it, lay out, and make a catch. It's a beautiful feeling to help your team like that.
Laid on a fastball. And that is fair inside the left field line. Plouffe is going to be waved home. And he is in there. So Rajai Davis drives in Trevor Plouffe, and the A's take a 1-0 lead.
So he saves one and he got one back. That's elevated. He used his top hand on it. Stayed right there. Also get used to that outfield. Sometimes that ball will hit up off of that cushion. Sometimes it'll stick underneath it. And it kind of stayed underneath there and allowed Plouffe to come home from first base. Saved a run and knocked one in.
Now Marcus Semien, and a slider's in for a strike. Semien got a 2-0 fastball in the first inning and fouled out to Hosmer. Oh, 2. Semien's off to a slow start. He is 6 for 27. That's 185, and the feeling he's not seeing the ball well right now. And on Monday was 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts and a lot of swings and misses.
Yep. Well, he has a good track record. They know what he can do. He played in 15 and 16. He played 155, 159 games. I mean, he's their guy. He's their shortstop. Now he had some issues with errors at 15 with 35 from at shortstop. He had 21 errors last season, so he cut it down. He made some improvements.
Lays off the slider. King Richard.
Finish him.
Inside with a changeup. Semien had a breakout offensive year last year, at least with home runs. He had 27, a new career high. 19 of those before the All-Star break. As I said, I don't think he's seeing the ball well right now, and that might cost him a few bucks in kangaroo court.
That is the true definition of an emergency hack. The ball was already in the catcher's glove. I'm sorry, Marcus. I've been there. I mean to laugh at you, but it's tough. But typically, when you see that, he's guessing.
And guessing wrong. And now Matt Joyce He reached with a walk in the first inning and then was out when Lowry grounded into a double play. Curveball in for a strike.
When Hamill gets 2 strikes on you, as a hitter, you're almost automatically going to look for the slider, and that's what Simeon was looking for. The slider coming, because that's his bread and butter pitch.
One and one. Rajai Davis has doubled home Trevor Plouffe to give the A's a 1-0 lead. In the bottom of the second, Andrew Triggs worked around a Salvador Perez double. And essentially Hamill's doing the same thing. Even though a run is home, Davis was at second base with nobody out.
If you don't keep him close, he'll rip third off. Yeah. Let him get too big a lead, as he's even up with the bag. He's checking the outfielders out, making a mental note of where they are, so he can break quicker on contact. But that's a pretty sizable lead. He's really quick. He's a prolific base stealer.
Led the league last year as a 35-year-old. Real interesting guy to talk to. I had a chance to visit with him a couple of times last year, and he was with the Indians, and he was a late bloomer. A one-time switch hitter, 38th round pick of the Pirates, but always had the speed. Actually made a name for himself in his first stint with the A's. In the air to left field, and right in the middle of 3 Royals.
Can't blame Moustakas for pulling up on that. Any ball that that's the second one we've seen down the line right there, and we all know what happened last year with Gordon colliding, and you know that kind of just fell in the Bermuda Triangle.
Jammed him. Hamill's really done a good job of pitching inside with his fastball tonight. 2 down with Davis at second base. I was talking to Davis last year, and really in reference to Gerard Dyson. Remember, Dyson last year was getting an opportunity to play more regularly in right field, and that's somebody that Gerard Dyson could use as inspiration. Rajai Davis, who was kind of labeled as a 4th or 5th outfielder, but got better with age and has become a semi-regular, maybe not an everyday guy, but in his 30s is better than he was in his 20s.
Right. He's an energy giver. You know, you put him in that lineup and he's going to lift you. Good guy. He's always got a smile on his face before the game, around the cage. Happy to be out there. You know, that's important.
Jed Lowry grounded into a 4-6-3 double play his first time up. 1-1. Lowry batted 6th in the game on Monday with Ian Kennedy on the mound. But tonight he bats 3rd.
Red Sox, Houston, Oakland, back to Houston. He bounced around.
Davis to 3rd, and it's fouled away. The jump was so good that I think the Royals were going to concede the stolen base.
Yep, let him have it. Moose didn't even move. Which is good, really. You don't want to give up your ground out there. Let him have the bag. He's got to hit to score him anyway.
2-2. Trevor Plouffe opened the inning with a single, and Davis followed with a double. So a run home, but Hamill is one strike away from working around a runner at second base and nobody out. Three and two with the dangerous Chris Davis on deck.
Definitely would like to see Davis lead off next inning.
11 pitches in the first inning, and now at least 20 in the last two.
That's too many.
Davis runs, and Lowry strikes out. So it could have been worse. The A's get a run, but like the Royals, they had a runner at second base and nobody out and couldn't cash it in. He is driven in a run, and Davis taketh away with a diving play on Escobar to save a run in the bottom of the second. For nearly 30 years, John and Sally Mock have been outstanding international ambassadors of goodwill. Working with two international organizations, they have personally hosted multiple students from 10 countries in their own home. They have also recruited dozens of Kansan families to host over 100 students during the past 23 years. Sitting in the Buck O'Neil legacy seat at tonight's game, John and Sally Mock.
Oh, that's outstanding. Well, I guarantee you, they're never lonely with all those students that have come by. I'm sure those students have probably kept them in their, they're on their Christmas list. And
short hop play by Alonso, and that gets Mondesi one down.
Too bad, that ball gets by Alonso. That could have been a double as fast as Mondesi is. That would have been a good start, but hit it too much right at it.
First time the Royals have not had their leadoff man on. Triggs walked Alex Gordon to begin the first. Alex went to second on an infield single by Kane, and the Royals had two on with one out. And Triggs then got a double play ground ball from Hosmer. In the second inning, Salvador Perez led off with a double. Brandon Moss's ground ball got him to third with one out, and Triggs pitched out of that. Out to Simeon, and two down. UFC night coming up on Fox. The World Flyweight Championship is on the line as Demetrius Johnson defends his title for the 10th time. He'll face the ever dangerous Wilson Hayes, who will attempt to steal the belt away in this historic battle. Don't miss the UFC World Flyweight Championship, free and only on Fox. Triggs struck out Moustakas with a fastball in the first inning. Two and 0.
He got Moose to swinging the ball that was outside on a fastball away. See if Moose can kind of make a little adjustment here, be a little more selective.
Well, he's going to pitch him away here.
Yeah.
Simeon brings it down, and that is a 7-pitch third inning for Andrew Triggs. Chris Davis and his 4 home runs will lead off the top of the 4th. Rajai Davis double. Time for our sprint trivia question. HUD, name the 3 players to have played at least 100 games for the Royals, A's, and Cubs. Ball 1 to Davis. Hamill struck him out in the second inning. Jason has struck out 4. 4, 5, 6 hitters are coming up. Davis, Vogt, and Healy.
How about Jamie Quirk?
Wrong.
Okay.
Ah, that's a good one. Two and 1 on Davis. He got going right away. He had 2 home runs on opening day. And he gets it through the left side for a leadoff single.
Now that makes him the only A to reach safely on base, and 9 straight now. At least it stayed in the park. You know, if you look at him, Ryan, he didn't look like a big home run hitter, especially, you know, like a Dave Kingman or a, you know, the big strong guys that they've had in Oakland. From the right side, McGuire.
And he doesn't hit in a great hitter's ballpark. Coliseum.
All right.
Especially at night.
But if you've seen some of his home runs, they're tape measure shots. He's a prolific power hitter. That's for sure. Vogt, you can count on him to give you some good at bats. Just hoping. Almost hoping he hits it right to Mondesi.
Oh, 0-2 on Stephen Vogt.
Well, maybe it seems like that because, you know, he's a .333 hitter against the Royals, 24 for 72 before coming in tonight, and that's what I'm saying. Every time he seems like he gets a hit against us. Especially at Kauffman Stadium, 462 he hits here.
Is that good?
Jeez, crackers. 18 for 38
with an .846 slugging percentage.
3 homers here. No wonder.
Still 1-2.
Had a career high 137 games last year. .123 hits. He's no wonder. He's their guy.
We were talking about him on Monday. He is a late bloomer, to say the least. He did not get to the big leagues until he was 27. And when he got to the big leagues, he started out 0 for 32. Another base hit. Just flipped it out there with the count 1-2.
Looked like he just knew that pitch was coming and he was going to do that. Continues his toward hitting here at the K. Yeah, it's all far outside plate. Backside fell out some. You know, another hit that you know, had an idea. Back leg bend. He was able to reach out there and get it. Very nice. Laid it out there. That's called not trying to do too much.
So 2 on, nobody out to Ryan Healy, who had a great at bat against Kendall in the second inning. Popped up. Mondesi going out and makes a play. So 1st and 2nd and 1 down. Well, Royals fans, if you're looking for a great deal on tickets, now you've got the chance with Price Chopper. The Price Chopper Steal a Deal. Now until 10 a.m. tomorrow, you can purchase Outfield Plaza tickets for the Royals and the Giants on April 18th for just $18. Tickets can be purchased at Price Chopper locations or Royals.com using the coupon code STEAL. Big out to get Healy on one pitch, and now Yonder Alonso, and he chops it foul. Alonso struck out on a slider in the second inning. And it's 0-2. Davis single to left, Vogt single to left. jammed. And on an 0-2 pitch, Alonso drops it into left center field. So the A's take a 2-0 lead as Davis comes around to score. It's hard to know exactly what a catcher wants with a runner at second base, because Salvi's going to go through a lot of signs, but one of the signs he gave him was he wanted a fastball up, and that's what Hamill gave Alonso. Didn't hit it hard, but he got it into left center.
Straight, but it's 0-2. I'm a little bit surprised that that pitch was called. As good as Hamill's slider is, but just didn't get it up enough.
First and third for Trevor Plouffe. He singled leading off the third inning and scored the A's first run.
You know, with one out, that breaking ball moves down. You get him to make some contact. You roll up a double play and get out of the inning. It wasn't a good pitch selection there, in my opinion.
Unless the scouting report on Alonso is that he will chase fastballs up.
All right. It just wasn't up enough then.
One and one on Plouffe. Through Salvi's legs, no advance by Vogt at third base, but Alonso moves up to second. And that takes away the possibility of a ground ball and a double play.
Didn't want that to happen. Salvi came up a little bit too soon. Plouffe was waving him home, but Vogt would have been out by a mile. Hit the backstop kickback right by that fading opening day sign behind the plate there. Couldn't do it.
Infield in halfway, which has a lot to do with the runner at third. Long run, 3 Royals, and behind the tarp.
Yeah, and you know too, Ryan, when there's a runner at second and third, less than 2. If you play them back a little bit, the infielders, they get a little bit more range on a little, worm burner that's going to kind of sneak through there. So it gives them a little bit more range, and then they still can get the slow runner at third and Vogt if he comes home. But Jerschley handles all that. Mike Jerschley for Ned Yost. Now there he's moving Mondesi in now.
Good take by Plouffe. That's exactly where Hamill and Perez wanted it.
And what's good for a player is that when your eyes are on your infield instructor, that takes the worry out of you. You just go where he tells you to go, and then you just use your athleticism and make the play.
Drilled to center field. That got Kane on his heels, so he plays it to third. And Trevor Plouffe drives in Stephen Vogt, and the A's lead 3-0. Well, the A's have done a good job in the first 4 innings of avoiding strikeouts with men on base. 2 hits in this inning have come with 2 strikes, and there were 2 strikes on Plouffe with his sacrifice fly to center field.
And Plouffe was not fooled a bit on that slider. Probably knew it was coming. He was sitting on it.
Rajai Davis doubled in a run in the 3rd inning, which leads us to our Toyota League leaders. And the Oakland A's, as we were telling you earlier, really didn't do much on offense last year, but early this year, racking up the extra base hits. Only the Tigers and the Angels have more. Mondesi wants it. He's got it. Twice in this game, Oakland has had their leadoff man on in the 3rd and the 4th. Both times that leadoff man has come around to score. The Royals are 0 for 2 in that department. Little sweetheart could look forward to School Day at the K, presented by Price Chopper and hosted by the Fox 4 weather team. Students and teachers have a blast every year learning about Kansas City weather and then watching the Royals. This year's event begins prior to the game on Thursday, May 4th. Presentations begin at 10 a.m. and then the Royals take on the White Sox at 1:15. Go to Royals.com School Day to learn more.
That looks like fun. A lot of buses out there that day.
Oh yeah.
That looks
Well, guy better watch it, man. He's going to get a brain freeze.
Yeah, he's wearing it out.
Slow down. 1-1 on Kane. Lorenzo reached with an infield single in the first inning. Look at those size of those bites. Oh. Down and away, 2-1. So anyway, the A's in the third and fourth innings got their leadoff man on, and that man came around to score. The Royals had their leadoff man on in the first and second innings, but Andrew Triggs was able to pitch out of it. And now Kane laid on a fastball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Royals had 2 on, 1 out in the first inning. Triggs got a double play. Royals had a runner at second, and then later a runner at third with 1 out in the second inning, and we're not able to score. Now Kane pokes it into shallow right field, fair. He's going to dig for 2 on Alonso, and he's in with a double.
I like the fact that Lorenzo Kane just went up there and played Royals baseball offensively. He says, oh, you know what? Look, I'm not going to try to hit a homer. I'm just going to get on base. Now, I like to call that a booty knock. Look at his backside falls out. The head position's great, and he lobbed it right where he was trying to hit it, and that's a beauty. Way to start the inning, Kane. And, you know, he sees the play in front of him, and with those strides, look at that forward lean, and he's quick. He got there in no time at all.
Inside corner to Hosmer.
That is really good. That's exactly what they need to do to get themselves right here, is shorten it up, let the ball travel deep, and then the home run is a byproduct of a good easy swing. It'll come to you after you get a few lousy singles.
One and one on Hosmer. Royals were in position to put some runs on the board right away against Triggs in the first inning. Royals had Gordon at second, Kane at first with 1 out, and Triggs got Hosmer to ground into a double play. One and 2.
That's Hosmer pulling his head off. And you know, when I say lousy single, Rhino, it's not like I'm bagging it. There's no such thing as a lousy single, because hitters will take any little drubber off the plate, any kind of hit, they'll take it. But I'm saying if you can hit double, triple, or a homer, it's a lousy single. I got a letter from a fan last year who said, "What are you talking about?" He didn't understand. I was just tongue in cheek.
2 and 2. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
Lousy single.
Right. But one of those here would be exactly what they needed to break their scoreless streak. The outfield is playing deep.
Did he go? He did. Second strikeout for Triggs.
Let's show you how Triggs has been getting it done against left-handers. Okay, here's the strikeout pitch from a side-winding righty to a left-handed hitter who sees it all. It stays up, but the downward movement and the spin rate is probably pretty high on Triggs' breaking ball, because it was a real fooler. It stayed up and looked good to hit, and there was a little bit of a shock value in it too.
Salvi had the right approach against Triggs in the second inning and doubled to right center field. One of the first things we told you tonight about Andrew Triggs is that he is a contact pitcher, and in his start on Thursday against the Angels, he threw 91 pitches and he had only 3 swings and misses, 1 strikeout. Shallow center. Rajay Davis didn't get a quick jump and makes a play 2 down. Well, tonight Triggs has thrown 48 pitches and he has 8 swings and misses.
Unfortunately, something the Royals have been doing a lot of. I mean, that scoreless streak that they're on now, what is it, 14, 15 innings now? 14 scoreless innings. The Royals are hitting 146 with runners in scoring position. 0 for 6 tonight.
Backdoor slider, a strike. Same way that Triggs got ahead of Moss in the second inning.
When you're in a batting slump like that, especially a team slump, every pitcher seems like an ace. It's just one of those things. And then sometimes, you know, when you come out of it, you're raking the ace on every team. There's nobody that can get you out. That's how the game works. But early in the year like this, sometimes it's magnified. And that guy
looked like an ace on Monday.
He
Jarrell
sure
Cotton.
did. And you know, he deserves a lot of that credit.
Sure. In the air to left field. Twice tonight the Royals have not been able to cash in a leadoff double. 3-0 Oakland at the end of 4. Royals baseball is brought to you by the Chevy Silverado, the most dependable, longest lasting, full-size pickup on the road. Find yours at your local Mid-America Chevy dealer. And by Panera Bread. Panera caters for every group, every size, every meal. Marcus Semien leads off the top of the 5th inning, 0 for 2. He struck out in his last at bat. and he put a slider swing on a fastball. Sometimes we'll say he put a fastball swing on a changeup, meaning he was out in front. But when the reverse is true and you put an off-speed swing on a fastball,
you're behind it. You're tardy.
Not a very good result.
No.
3 balls and no strikes.
And so after you take a swing like Semien did, you go back to your dugout. You have to be able to have the ability to laugh at yourself. Okay. And if you can't, then there's going to be an issue in the dugout, because there's going to be 1 or 2 of your guys that are going to look at you and laugh, you know, and smile and cover their mouth, and you know, you have to be able to shake your head and say that was ugly.
And when you're getting 500 to 550 at bats every year, you're going to have to laugh at a few of them.
All right.
But he takes a 4-pitch walk in the 5th inning, and that's the 3rd straight inning that the A's have had their leadoff man on. Leadoff man on in the 3rd, and Plouffe scored. Leadoff man on in the 4th, and Davis came around to score. Downstairs to Matt Joyce, who has walked and popped out to short. There goes Semien, and he swipes second base.
Fourth back of the season, he got a good jump. Pitch was off the mark, and the throw was too. It wouldn't have got him with a perfect throw. Hamill didn't use a slide step there. He gave him enough time to get a good break.
He has 4 of the 5 A's stolen bases so far. Mentioned earlier, the A's typically don't run. They stole 50 bases last year. 50 bases in 162 games. And Bob Melvin wants his team to be more aggressive this year. He gave everybody the green light in spring training. Everybody. Just kind of put it in their hands to use their own instincts, and maybe what you hope is that guys, when given the challenge of running, figure out that if they're paying attention, they can get a stolen base, even if they're not known for their speed.
Exactly.
3-1 in the air to left field. Semien back to second base. He will tag and hold.
I got one of the 3 in the trivia question. How about Willie Wilson?
3 players who have played 100 games with the Royals, A's, and Cubs.
Yeah, Willie, I know did.
That's a good one. Otherwise, I'm blank. David DeJesus.
Wow.
And Matt Stairs. David DeJesus retired this past off season. I think he's doing some television work with the Cubs. By the way, did you get Willie Wilson from the same guy I got Willie Wilson from?
I did.
Did it show up on your phone?
Yeah, it did.
Former Royal?
But I should have known that, because I saw Willie Wilson and Bert Campanera signing autographs before a game in spring training in Surprise. And I went over, and of course I love Campy Campaneris. He's one of my heroes growing up. And I saw Willie, and I saw the pictures of you know, he was given to the fans, and there was Cubs, and there was, you know, of course, obviously the Royals. And what was the other team?
The A's.
Yeah, the A's. So I should have known that.
Travis Wood.
But you know, there was a lot of fans around, and it's a great opportunity for fans to meet their heroes. And you know what? I'm a fan too. Are you a fan? You're a fan of the game. Yeah. So Campy Campaneris, I grew up in Fresno, California, and he played for Oakland. And whenever I was on the playground, you know, I was Campy Campaneris. You know, I'd get my lead, and I was Campy.
Did you talk like that too?
Oh yeah, yeah. And he knows that though. I've seen him before. And he still got up, very gracious, Campy. You know, and I hugged him. I hugged Willie, and You know, those guys are special. You know, all the alumni guys and former big leaguers. I owe it to them myself because they helped me with my major league service time and the strikes that they held out for me. Even though Willie is just a little bit older than me, you know, I was around. I was a young player when he was still playing. But Campy, you know, he's one of those guys that whenever I would see him as a player, I would say, "Hey, thank you for your service time for me. You helped me immensely."
One and two on Lowry. There is a gentleman, I believe, in the house tonight who didn't quite play 100 with the 3 teams, but played for all 3 teams. Jason Kendall, who finished his career with the Royals and works in the Royals organization. When you were talking about being campy on the playground,
yeah,
it sounded a lot like Jim Leland talking about Danny Duffy.
Campy Campaneris.
And then what would Leland say about Duffy?
How's that Duffy?
Oh,
kid?
okay, maybe it is
no,
a little
no,
different.
yeah,
okay.
He's got a deeper voice.
And that skips past Salvi. So that gets a runner to third with less than 2 outs, and that's the second wild pitch thrown by Hamill. So he was really trying hard to get Lowry to chase a slider down, and he overthrew it.
And I think 2 words you used there is summing it up so far. Trying hard. You know, it's just too hard. He's trying too hard. The offense is trying too hard. It's just not. They're not putting it together yet. It'll come, but it's just not happening. The energy's low, especially here at the K. You can't blame the fans. There's not a lot to cheer for.
Pulled foul. Well, twice Lowry's been an escape hatch for Hamill. He got him to ground into an inning-ending double play in the first. And with a runner at second base and 2 outs in the third, Hamill struck him out. In the air to left, and that will be plenty deep enough. So in each of the last 3 innings, the Oakland A's have gotten their leadoff man on, and he has come around to score.
They're doing the little things that it takes to win games offensively, and gosh, that's perfect. He's looking for a ball up that he could knock the sac fly in. It's a second run of the 4 that was knocked in by a sac fly, looking up in the zone. And Oakland's back at it again, just wearing down the Royals.
Chris Davis, known for his power, was a leadoff man in the 4th inning. He singled to left and scored on a base hit by Alonso. Two and 0. And now he has another single. And that'll bring Ned Yost out of the Royals dugout. 94 pitches for Hamill in 4 2/3 innings.
That and just that, you know, his tempo was not right. His tempo was just too long. It just wasn't in his game.
Travis Wood has a Chevy call to the bullpen with a runner at first and 2 down in the 5th inning. last 3 innings and lead 4-0 in the top of the 5th. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is back with better picture quality than ever before. You can watch every out-of-market game live at home, in the office, or on the go. Blackout restrictions apply. MLB.TV for details. And she is wide awake at 8:45. Travis Wood comes on with a runner at first and 2 down. And we'll get the lefty Stephen Vogt.
Travis Wood's going to feature 87 and 92 with his fastball. He likes to cut it into righties, slider to lefties, curve and a change. He's got 4. Like to be on a steady decline with that ERA he's given up early this season. It'll happen. It takes time. Batting averages go up fast. ERAs go down quickly if you do what you hope you can do.
Stopped by Salvi. 1-1 on Vogt. He was down in the count 1-2 last inning, and Hamill made a pretty good pitch to him down and away, and with a good 2-strike approach just flipped it out into left field for a hit, and the A's scored 2 in that inning. And now Woods ahead 1-2.
Slider away. Pressure from the middle finger on the pitching hand. Put that pressure, you follow through, you stay on top of the ball, preferably. If you get on the side of it, it comes around and it flattens out. It's easier to hit. Want some kind of downward angle.
Didn't mean to do it. And the play is to first, and that ends the inning. The A's, for the 3rd straight inning, get their leadoff man on and turn it into a run. Time for the showstopper of tonight, and it's Giancarlo Stanton, who hit 2 home runs in Miami tonight. Those are his first 2 home runs of the year, both against Jaime Garcia and the Atlanta Braves. Marlins hoping to improve to 5-3. The Braves have lost 5 straight. They would drop to 1-7. Here's our Panera around the major scoreboard. Yankees winning 8-4. Aaron Judge has his 3rd home run. Detroit beat Minnesota. Chicago wins at Cleveland. And Baltimore over Boston. Simeon backhands and gets Chesler Cuthbert. Chesler is 0 for 2.
Did you see Stanton's first home run he hit? That thing had about 8 seconds of hang time, and it looked like it bounced off the top of the wall. Let's count. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that
close to 9 seconds.
Yeah,
if we judge your timing.
Yeah, of course. And that wall is tall. You can't rob any ball off the wall there, off the top.
Oh, and 1 on Escobar. Remember the play that Gerard Dyson made in Miami?
Yes.
Last year?
Oh, man.
Climbing the wall in center field.
It was special.
1-1 on Escobar. Royals' best chance to score tonight was off the bat of Escobar in the 2nd inning. And speaking of good catches by a center fielder, Rajai Davis went diving into left center. Difference in the game tonight. The A's have had their leadoff man on 3 times, and that man has scored 3 times. The Royals have had their leadoff man on 3 times and have yet to score, and 2 times that leadoff man reached with a double on the Royals side. And you got to give the pitcher Trigg some credit. But as you said, the offense just not clicking at the moment right now.
No.
And as you said, it can be over magnified early in the season, but the Royals, they go through stages like this.
Well,
some of it's the result of just a very aggressive hitting team. They're not a team that's going to break out of it by working long counts. That's just not their game. They're just up there swinging.
Regardless, not the start they wanted. Of course, every team wants to have a great start, but it just doesn't happen. Got to wait it out.
Left center field again. That one drops for a hit in front of Chris Davis. Escobar's on with 1 out. Missouri Lottery Fox Tracks. That was down and out of the strike zone.
Sure was. Look at Triggs. Triggs, he's on the very outer half of that baseball, man. I mean, and Escobar went down and got it. Almost 5 inches off the ground.
Mondesi takes a strike. He swung at the first pitch leading off the 3rd inning and lined out on 1 hop to the first baseman Alonso.
Such an advantage to be able to have that bunting ability that Mondesi has. You pull the defenders in, it opens up avenues and lanes to hit the ball in. And you know, really, he could bunt, you know, 250 if that's all he did, if he didn't even swing the bat, because his speed is so great. Hit a hard ball his first time up, though, right to the first baseman over there, Alonso.
2-1.
Mondesi spent more time in the cage than any other Kansas City Royal this spring. Dale Swaim told me that. Said
It was Kendrys Morales last year who spent the most time in the cage. And this spring it was Mondesi. One of the reasons that he won the job. He worked at it, he got some pitches, and he was able to do a lot with it. She's a cutie.
That's what we need, the rally handshake.
I'm all for it. Whatever it's going to take. Watch out.
Nice crowd here tonight for a Wednesday night with school in session. Last year the Royals drew a little over 2.5 million, second most in team history. 2.7 the year before as a team record. That's hit well to right field. Joyce is back and he reaches up and brings it down. Well, tough hitting luck and back-to-back at bats for Mondesi. If you're looking for a great deal on tickets, now you've got the chance with the Price Chopper Steal a Deal. Now until 10 a.m. tomorrow, you can purchase outfield plaza tickets for the Royals and the Giants on April 18th for just $18. Tickets can be purchased at Price Chopper locations or at Royals.com using the coupon code HAAS.
Okay.
Alex Gordon with Escobar at first, 2 down. Inside, ball 1.
Let's go, Royals!
2-0 on Alex.
You know what else besides tricks is fastball? It's got a little bit of a tailing action to it. Cutter inside, a sweeper. Is his tempo. You know, he's getting the ball up there and he's keeping his defense on their toes, and that's important.
Slider, 2 balls, 1 strike.
Oh, a little downward action.
Chopped out to Simeon. He'll just walk over to second base and end the inning. Andrew Triggs has pitched 5 scoreless innings, and the A's in this series have pitched 14 scoreless innings. To the top of the 6th inning, the Royals have turned a McDouble play in tonight's game. McDouble sandwiches are only $1 tomorrow. Enjoy the McDouble play all season long. That was the first inning. Jason Hamill had walked Matt Joyce with 1 out, but he got Jed Lowry to ground into a double play. Hamill went 4 2/3 tonight, allowing 4 runs, 7 hits. Travis Wood got the final out of the 5th and stays on to face Ryan Healy, Yonder Alonso, and Trevor Plouffe. And a cutting fastball is in for a strike to Healy. He was 1 for 2 against Hamill. Right center field, and Alex can't quite get it. May have hit the tip of his glove, and Healy has a leadoff double.
On contact, it was squared up. Alex, I looked up on contact. He was right on the break. Now you can see how he just veered off a little bit with his root. What a good angle anyway. He had the right angle. Ball was hit just a little bit too hard for him. That ball wasn't missed. Wind blowing from the right field foul pole across the field to the left field gap.
Fourth consecutive inning, the A's have had their leadoff man on. Yonder Alonso was down 0-2 in the 4th inning and got jammed on a high fastball, but was able to muscle into center for an RBI. One and one on Yonder Alonso.
You know, I was reading up on Alonso. You know, he's born in Cuba. He moved to the United States when he was 10 with his father and mother. I mean, he moved to the United States. You don't ever hear that with a Cuban player, that he moved over here with his parents.
Defected in a small airplane.
Ah.
Kane backpedals onto the warning track. It's a productive out for Alonso to get Healy to third with 1 down. That's one we don't hear very often. Usually it's something that involves the ocean.
Yeah.
A small boat or a raft.
He's got some pop. He hit that ball a long way here at the K.
Trevor Plouffe has already had a good night, and now he has a chance to drive in the A's 5th run. Strike 1 over the outside. In the 3rd inning, leading off the inning, he singled, scored on a Rajai Davis double, and in the 4th inning he drove in a run with a sacrifice fly. 1 ball and 1 strike. Two and one. Away, 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 and Trevor Plouffe is not biting. 3 and 1.
Yep, he's keeping it away from his power.
Dave Island just went back to the phone, maybe telling the Royals bullpen exactly when Chris Young is going to be needed. 3 balls, 2 strikes, or maybe checking on whether Chris is warmed up and ready to go. A's have hit 2 balls to the warning track in this inning. And that's a walk. And here comes Ned Yost. Well, a couple of right-hand batters coming up, and Rajai Davis and Marcus Semien. And now Ned makes the call. So Chris Young is a Chevy call to the bullpen. First and third, one out. Right-hand hitting Rajai Davis coming up.
At the K, Kauffman Stadium, Oakland still on top. We're going to go back and show you Yellowwood bringing the lumber. That's right, it's Rajai Davis. Pitch up from Hamill around his hands, and he pulled it bat in, pulled that head down, got it, stuck that ball down the left field line, got up underneath the fence there, knocked in Trevor Plouffe for Oakland's first run of the night.
Chris Young comes on to face him. Chris has pitched 2 1/3 innings. He is not allowed a run. Ground ball, base hit left field. So he got the ground ball. It was not hard hit, but productive. And for the 4th straight inning, the Oakland A's have gotten their leadoff man on, and he has come around to score.
Not messing around. Slider. Outer half. Davis again. A little pull. Happy. He'll take it. Little 3-hop worm burner right through the left side.
First and second, one out. Marcus Semien takes high.
Fastball, slider, or Chris Young's pitches. And he has some pitches with some deception at 6'10". Goes underneath the ball a little bit. Appears that the ball has a little bit of rise to the hitter. From that angle, he's got a nice little rolling slider.
Two and one.
Mainly a fly ball pitcher.
And now 3-1 to Semien, who is just 5 for 28. That's 179. 0 for 2 tonight. He took a 4-pitch walk leading off the 5th inning and came around to score. And now head in the count 3-1. The wind may push that out of play just beyond Mike Moustakas' reach. Wind is really howling now right to left coming out of the south, and that explains the warm temperatures this time of year. We expect 70s the next 4 days, right around 70 the next 6 days, and that's the reason why. Weather coming up out of the south. Runners go. And it's pulled to third base coach Chip Hale. Gets in a good fielding position.
Yep, he was an infielder.
Manager of the Arizona Diamondbacks last year and the year before. Runners go again. And that's ball 4 to load him up. So Plouffe at third, he walked. Davis at second, he's driven in a run. Semien at first. And the batter is Matt Joyce. He has walked, popped to short, and flied out to left field. Slider is low. First time he's come to the plate with the bases loaded this year. He has 4 grand slams. Base hit into right. That'll score 1. The A's have 2 in the 6th inning. And now their lead is 6-0. That run is charged to Travis Wood, so he gives up 2 runs in 2/3 of an inning. And now Chris Young is responsible for all 3 on base.
88 down the middle. Joyce, short, compact, quick swing, found the hole.
The A's have 6 runs on 10 hits. Only 2 extra base hits. They have had a total of 14 base runners. Disappearing slider on Jed Lowry. And now Scott Alexander just called up from AAA Omaha. Begins to throw in the Royals bullpen. Same pitch. 0-2. Jed Lowry 12 years ago was a first-round pick of the Boston Red Sox out of Stanford. He has been on the disabled list 9 times in his career. Belted into right field deep and off the top of the fence. Chance for a play at the plate. And coming around to score is Marcus Semien with Rajai Davis in front of him. It's a 2-run double for Lowry, and the A's lead 8-0 in the 6th inning.
Oh, so that's why Jed Lowry hits third tonight in the order. You want a third place hitter to do exactly that. Drive in runs. Slider stayed up in inner half, pulled it, missed a salami by just a few feet.
Over the outside, a strike to Chris Davis. Two singles and a run scored for Davis. Oh, 0-2. Davis hit 42 home runs last year. The A's hit 169. So he hit 25% of his team's home run. That was the highest in the American League, highest percentage, second highest in the major leagues. That looked like a swing, and it was. Davis is down on 3 straight pitches. 25% of his team's home runs. Freddie Freeman hit 28% of his team's home runs for the Atlanta Braves. So he was kind of a one-man wrecking crew for the A's last year. But the offense has been balanced tonight. 8 runs on 11 hits. And they're only in the 6th inning. And now Ned Yost is going to go to Scott Alexander, the lefty, with left-hand hitting Stephen Vogt coming up. Oakland has scored 4 to add to their lead in the 6th. Student night, and that's the case here at Kauffman Stadium every Wednesday home game. For only $10, all you need is your student ID. You'll enjoy a happy hour special at the Boulevard Hop Stop concession stand as you listen to live local music on the Outfield Experience stage. Visit Royals.com/student night for the full list of bands and for tickets. And we've got one coming up a week from tonight with the Giants in town. Scott Alexander just called up from AAA Omaha. He's made 2 scoreless appearances for the Storm Chasers. 1 pitch. So the A's bat 9 and they score 4. 5.5 played, and Oakland leads 8-0. Sonic slam inning as Mike Moustakas will lead off. Our contestant is Arthur Marshall from Kansas City, Missouri. If the Royals hit a home run out of the park in this inning, Arthur wins $200. If the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Arthur wins $25 grand from Sonic and the Royals. After Moustakas, Kane, and Hosmer. Royals have 4 hits in 5 innings against Andrew Triggs. And they've had scoring opportunities. Triggs has pitched well, but he has given up a leadoff walk and he has given up 2 leadoff doubles. But no runs in his first 5 innings. And now if you add what he did against the Angels on Thursday, Andrew Triggs has pitched 10 2/3 innings this year without allowing an earned run. Back door, and it's 1-2 on Moustakas. Still 1-2. Triggs has struck out 2 tonight and only 3 in 10 2/3 innings.
Well, over his career, this could give the Royals a little bit of hope as they're just starting their 3rd time through. 400 3rd time through. You get to see him. And if they can get some runners on, get a few big hits, get back in this game.
Sometimes spring training means something for the regular season. Sometimes it does not. And we told you at the beginning of the broadcast that the Royals had never faced Triggs in a regular season game, but they saw him in spring training at the very end of spring training, and they scored 8 runs on 8 hits in 3 2/3 innings with 3 home runs. They just battered Andrew Triggs. Mike Moustakas hit one of those home runs. So did Brandon Moss and Paulo Orlando.
Yeah.
Royals had 10 base runners in 3 2/3 innings in Arizona against Triggs.
Typically, you know, if that's towards the end, one of your last starts, you know, you're hoping that you can bring your pitches in and start getting your timing down if you're Triggs. But you know, that Arizona, that climate there is good hitting weather. But he's putting together his 2nd consecutive nice start.
And it's backing out of play. This will be the 10th pitch of this at bat between Moustakas and Triggs. Well done. Matt Joyce coming up in right field. 1 down in the bottom of the 6th.
Andrew Triggs. He's got the Royals off balance all night long. Fastballs away and out of the zone. Of course, pitching's the key. You know, you want to keep it out of the middle of that plate, and he's done that job. Uses defense, especially this nice play by Davis. Saved a run. Wow, that wicked breaker there, man. He's been working it. Having the Royals, when they do make contact, staying on top and using his defense is exactly the way he wrote it up. Some good sinking action to that fastball there.
So 5 1/3, no earned runs tonight. 5 2/3, no earned runs on Thursday against the Angels. 0-2 on Kane. He has not retired Kane tonight. Renzo has an infield single and a double. 0-2. One ball and 2 strikes. Kane to this point I think has had the most professional at bats of all the Royals. You know, he's laughed at himself a few times, dropping little bloops into right field, but he is, well, he misses a slider. Of course that always happens when you're praising a hitter for his professional at bats, but
it's okay.
It's tied for the major league lead with walks, and there have been very few at bats where you got the feeling that Lorenzo was muscling up and overswinging.
Yeah. I think that's going to be the key for the Royals to get back in this. I don't. It's hard for a team to just hit the long ball and get back in it that way. The Royals' DNA, is signature, is frenzy style hitting, contact. And typically, you get those base hits to the opposite field, you're seeing the ball longer, and then the long ball will come.
2-0 on Hosmer. Hosmer has provided some important outs for Triggs tonight. The Royals had 2 on with 1 out in the first inning after being shut out on Monday, but Triggs got Hosmer to ground into a double play. And then in the 4th inning, Lorenzo Cain, with the A's leading 3-0. Lorenzo had a leadoff double, so it would have been a nice answer for the Royals. And Triggs got one of his 3 strikeouts against Hosmer. Pulled on the ground to Alonso. Triggs to the bag, and he missed it. That'll be an error on Andrew Triggs, and Hosmer's on with 2 down.
That's the 4th error committed by a pitcher this year, and whoops, he just missed it.
And I think the error for Triggs there was the route. I mean, typically you want the pitcher to run to the line first and then run up the line, because if you run directly at the bag, your room for error is very minimal, and that can happen.
You're right. He just went directly to the base.
Salvi rolls out to second base. He is 1 for 3 tonight, and now Triggs has thrown 6 scoreless innings. Royals baseball is brought to you by Thoroughbred Ford. Every day there's a great deal waiting for you at Thoroughbred Ford. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors, official sporting goods retailer of the Kansas City Royals. I remember a very jam-packed, noisy afternoon at that location.
Yep,
A couple of Novembers ago.
Sure was fun.
Drew Butera is going to take over in the top of the 7th inning. And Scott Alexander, who got the final out of the 6th on 1 pitch, stays on for the 7th.
Alexander's going to feature fastball 88 to 94. Sinks the fastball, slider, change. Hey, when he's on and going good, he's a ground ball specialist.
Time had been called. Appears that Healy had something in his eye. He led off last inning with a double. Came around to score. The A's have done all of their scoring in the last 4 innings, and in all 4 innings the leadoff man has reached and come around to score. On the ground to Escobar. The leadoff man is out in the 7th inning.
Hey, that's a start.
And now Yonder Alonso. He's driven in one of the 8 Oakland runs. Lifted to Kane in center field. And 2 down in the 7th inning. Good to see Scott Alexander back in the big leagues. Quite a story last year. After making his big league debut in September of 15, he was one of the best pitchers in spring training last year. So poised to have spent most of his season in the big leagues, but in about May or June he started losing weight. He started losing velocity on his fastball, losing energy, and was diagnosed with diabetes, type 1 diabetic. That was in July of last year after he had been sent down to AAA. He lost 25 pounds from the beginning of spring training until he was diagnosed. But he got that under control, got his weight back, got his velocity back, and ended up pitching in 17 games with the Royals with a 3.32 ERA and backed that up with another excellent spring training. And maybe the most inspiring part of that story is that, you know, Scott was very vocal about what had happened to him, very open about it, and has used his experience to motivate and encourage kids who have recently been diagnosed with diabetes and want to play sports, and has the opportunity to be a great role model for that.
It's awesome. I wonder, does he have an insulin pump that he has on the field? I mean, lots of times, I mean, I don't see one on him, but we've seen some pitchers that have them on their belt. But we'll find out. That's what he does, ground balls.
Phase 4 retired for. Stretch time at Kauffman Stadium. The A's lead 8-0. in last place last year and the year before, off to a .500 start and an 8-0 lead over the Royals going into the bottom of the 7th. And dealing with the disabled list again. Our University of Kansas Health System injury report update. John Axford recently placed on the disabled list with a strained right shoulder. The A's have 6 players currently on the disabled list. Last year they used a franchise record disabled list 27 times. And it's not just last year, they've had at least 3 on the disabled list since July of 2011.
It's just not the statistics you want to read about your team.
So that partially explains the trouble they've had the last 2 years. Yep. Ryan Dole is out of the A's bullpen. There are great baseball names and there are less than great baseball names. 1-1 on Moss.
Ryan has some good natural sink to his fastball. 88 to 94. He's not all that big. He's about 5'10", 5'11". Slider and an occasional show me changeup.
Moss is grounded to short and flied out to left field. One thing about Ryan Dole, if you're a hitter, he does not have a nice smooth delivery where it would be easy to pick up the ball. Watch this little whipping action.
And you know, all 3 pitches come out of that little 3/4 delivery. Has some deception. Hides the ball pretty well. And so when that happens and they're all coming out of that same little 3/4 arm angle, it appears sneaky. It appears faster than it really is.
And he begins his night with a strikeout.
It's his put away slider. Like a changeup grip there.
So at the big lead, Bob Melvin has the opportunity to get a reliever in there that hasn't been off to a good start. Ryan Dole had allowed 3 runs, 3 hits in his first 2 innings. Chesler has grounded back to the mound and grounded to short. 95 with that fastball. And I'll bet it seems faster than that.
Yeah, with that deception, I was explaining, it's just, you know, sometimes when you'll have a quirky delivery like that, and your 3/4 going to make it really tough for righties. And he comes out of there explosive, and he hides the ball behind his back, behind his leg.
In the air to shallow right, and Joyce calls off Lowry, 2 down. Remember, if you can't catch the game on TV, you can stream games live on your mobile device. Download the Fox Sports Go app, log in, and stream the Royals. Wager going down.
Yep. Some coin. Yeah. A lot of 20s.
Sounds a little strange to say that Escobar flying to center field in the 2nd inning was a big out, because it would have scored 1 run, but kind of makes you wonder what would have happened if Rajai Davis did not make that diving play in left center field. It would have given the Royals a 1-0 lead after being shut out on Monday, and given the Royals momentum at the time. But that's the closest the Royals have come to scoring. And then the A's got 1 in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, and 4 in the 6th. This is our Honda play of the game.
I mean, if you see where he was starting out, he was thinking that Escobar was going to hit the ball to right center field, so he was played way over. But man, you know, that just shows the skill and athleticism of Davis. He's a good one.
Ryan Dole picks up where Andrew Triggs left off, and now the Royals have been scoreless over their last 18 innings. 8-0 Oakland to the 8th. The 8th inning. Tonight's copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Kansas City Royals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals. Ryan Lefevre with Rex Hudler, along with Joel Goldberg, Jeff Montgomery, director Steve Kurtenbach, producer Kevin Cedergren, associate producers Al Broughton, Sam Abramson, Dave Holtzman, Brian Shapiro. 1 down, top of the 8th inning. Rajai Davis has driven in 2 and scored a run, and we just showed you the defensive play that he made on Alcides Escobar back in the 2nd inning. Second time that Scott Alexander has gotten an out on just 1 pitch.
Just heavy bowling ball type sinker. That's what you want to do. Also, that preserves your pitch count. And Ned would like to see him finish this off. He will if he keeps getting those early count outs and using that defense like that. That's how you do it.
1-1 on Simeon. That's the best swing he's had in this series, and Alex makes a leaping play on the track.
Ball had a lot of carry on it again. Stayed with it. A little different out there in right than left. It's ball's going to slice towards the line. To his left, to his glove side, rather than to the other side, left field, is opposites. So he's, you know, he's plenty good athlete to handle all that.
2 down to Matt Joyce. It's easy to forget, but when Alex first played in the outfield for the Royals, after being called back up, his first start was in right field. And remember, we were talking to him during the spring training broadcast. I didn't want to bring it up. I allowed him to bring it up because he'd been playing so much right field in spring training. And he said, "Do you remember what happened on the very first play?" I said, "Well,
since
you brought it up." But Alex getting back to the big leagues, now an outfielder coming up from AAA Omaha, playing in right field. and committed an error.
Yankee Stadium.
Yankee Stadium. First chance that he got, he committed an error. He's able to laugh about that now, and Royals are confident that he will be as effective in right field as he has been in left. Off the plate. Race to the base, and Alexander gets there in time. So Scott Alexander, hoping to give the bullpen a lift, just called up from Omaha. He is faced 7 and retired 7. Now is your chance to hit a grand slam on tickets with the Price Chopper Grand Slam 4-pack. You'll get 4 view reserve tickets to any Sunday through Thursday Royals home game and 4 Royals caps, all for just $44. The Price Chopper Grand Slam 4-pack can be purchased exclusively at an area Price Chopper location. So go and pick yours up tomorrow. Liam Hendricks, one-time Royal, comes on with a big lead, 8-0 A's, bottom of the 8th. Mondesi, Gordon, and Moustakas are coming up. Hendricks has really reinvented himself as a reliever.
He can empty the tank. Throws hard now. Never did before. I mean, he was, you know, high 80s, low 90s, but 95 consistently now. I mean, he's done a good job with his roll out there. Fastball, cutter, slider, curve, change. He's gonna mix him up.
3-0 on Mondesi. He has hit the ball hard twice, but 0 for 2. Mondesi is on to begin the bottom of the 8th. That's the Royals' first walk tonight. Second walk tonight. First walk since the very first batter, Alex Gordon. So Alex walked leading off the first against Andrew Triggs, and then no walks until Mondesi leading off the 8th. That is Raul Mondesi's first walk this year. Joyce comes up and plays it from right field. Alex is 0 for 3 with that walk. And 1 down in the 8th inning. I remember Liam Hendricks back in 2014 Came over in a trade with the Blue Jays and had spent most of the year in the minor leagues. He started in the Twins organization, had struggled with them, was bouncing around, ended up with Toronto. Royals get him in a trade, and in his Royals debut in 2014 against the Twins right here at Kauffman Stadium, he went 7 innings and gave up 1 run. And then mostly pitched out of the bullpen after that. 1-1 on Mike Moustakas. Drilled to right field, and that's a base hit. Mondesi to third. Mike Jershely will hold him there. Fans are upset. It's an 8-0 game. No need for a close play at the plate.
Nope.
And the Royals have their first hit since the 5th inning.
Pulled his hands in nicely. Barreled at 94. Sent it screaming. Look at Mondesi. I mean, I believe he could have scored with no problem, but then Mike Jershely is going to get in trouble by Ned, the manager, who's going to say, if he gets thrown out, what were you doing? We're down 8 runs. So some of the stuff you got to play by the book. And you're counting on Locane and Haas to knock them down, but they're standing at 19 scoreless innings so far, the Royals. And they'd like to do anything to get that run across.
Going back to Brandon Moss's home run in the 9th inning on Sunday at Houston, which gave the Royals the lead for a half inning. They did not score in the final. They did not score in the game on Monday, and now scoreless for the first 7 innings tonight. One and one on Kane, who has an infield single and a double, 2 out of 3. Dale Swaim talking to Drew Butera. He came on in the top of the 7th inning for Salvador Perez. 2-1. Two and two. Nothing fancy from Hendricks for the most part.
Nope, he's coming right at him.
Reach back, let it fly.
Right. You gotta love that if you're a hitter too. So you got to lead like that. You don't want to walk anybody, although he was not able to pull that off. He walked Mondesi, but still, Locane is in a good spot right here.
Did he go? No.
Okay. That's another chance. There's a fan that believes.
Rally cap on. 9:55 on a school night. I don't know what that was.
Stir it up.
Back into the crowd, still 3-2. Royals have had chances. You look up at the scoreboard and you see no runs, 5 hits in 7 1/3 innings, but leadoff walk in the 1st inning. They had runners at 1st and 2nd, 1 out in the 1st, a leadoff double in the 2nd, leadoff double in the 4th. And then the scoring opportunities have dried up since that inning. That'll get a run home, and kicked literally by Simeon. No further advance. Mondesi scores. It's a base hit and an RBI for Kane. He has a 3-hit game. And the scoring drought is over. After 19 consecutive scoreless innings, the Royals have a run in the bottom of the 8th.
Hey, and that's just the Royal fashion right there. That's how they do it. Now Lorenzo, he's almost embarrassed by that, by the way he turned and walked back to the base. He had a big smile on his face. He's looking in the dugout, kind of, you know, there's no need to apologize for an infield hit.
The Royals won a lot of games with base hits like that, avoiding the strikeout, putting the ball in play.
Royals are known
forcing the issue.
They're known for getting their share of infield hits too now.
First and third for Eric Hosmer. Starter Andrew Triggs got some important outs early in the game against Hosmer in the first and fourth innings. One and one. That's a swing, 1-2. Still 1-2 on Hosmer. This is only the second time tonight that the Royals have had more than one base runner in one inning. The first time was way back in the first. They had one base runner in one inning only one time on Monday. No advance by Kane or Moustakas. Full count. Butera's on deck.
Okay, pretty much sitting on a fastball coming. That's what you do when you have a 7-run lead.
Going to try and get it in on Hosmer. He was out over the plate, and a base hit will drive in Moustakas.
A hit with runner in scoring position. That's Haas's first of the year. And you know, when you struggle like this offensively as a team, it's tough because usually there's one or two guys that at least keep you going, but they're all struggling. Sometimes late in a game like this, you'll find something, and that's an opposite field hit. This is one of the things that's going to bring these guys out, is getting back to seeing the ball deep. And then when you're hitting the ball in the opposite field, you're not trying to jump at it, pull it, and hit a homer. And you're gonna find yourself getting the little hits, and next thing you know, your average picks up a little bit, then the long ball will come naturally. That's just the way it is in this game.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, for a team to break out of a hitting slump, do they need to win the game?
I think they don't have to win the game. They could find something like Haas right there probably said, all right, that was a fastball. I knew it was coming, but I stayed in the crew. I didn't try to hit a home run into the water, into the hydration station, as he likes to call it. I was just wanting to get a clean base hit, and sometimes you can find that. I mean, it does help when you win. Royals only have 2 this year. So they're scuffy.
Drew Butera steps in for the first time tonight with runners at first and second, 1 out. Popped up into shallow center. They call the infield fly rule way out there in shallow center field. 2 outs, and now Brandon Moss. Ned Yost has said many times, tongue-in-cheek, but maybe not completely being sarcastic, and I mentioned this earlier, but the Royals, they will go through something like this at least a couple of times a year, even in the World Series years, where everyone just goes flat at the same time. And Ned says there's such a close-knit bunch that they all get hot at the same time and they all slump at the same time.
Yep.
And Ned, for the most part, doesn't panic. He will make very few lineup changes, just kind of let it ride out. History shows that they will break out of it. To what degree, we don't know. It looked like they broke out of it Friday night in Houston. 1-1 on Brandon Moss after
They did.
getting shut down for the most part by Minnesota for 3 games. They had a 5-run game on Friday in Houston. They had a 7-run game on Saturday.
Yep, that was getting contributions from her. They even hit around in 1 inning.
In the air to left field. Playable for Davis. And that's the inning. So the scoreless drought is over. The Royals get 2 in the 8th inning on RBIs from Kane and Hosmer. To the top of the 9th inning. Refreshing saves from Price Chopper and Aquafina. Sign up at mypricechopper.com to get free Aquafina when the Royals get a save. And tonight we are going to see the big league debut of Jacob Benjamin Lee Junis. Jake Junis. 1 start at AAA Omaha. Last year he was the Northwest Arkansas Pitcher of the Year. And really that was the year that got him on the Royals radar. He was a 29th round draft pick in 2011 out of Rock Falls, Illinois. So it's an uphill climb for a guy drafted that low, and really didn't do much stand out his first 4 years, but had a good ERA at AA Northwest Arkansas. Became a prospect for the Royals, finished the season at AAA Omaha and got an invitation to big league camp this year.
First pitch in his career got fouled off into the stands. Good fastball. Compact delivery. He'll go 90-95. Curve change.
Two balls and 1 strike. Jed Lowry Made some big outs for Jason Hamill in the early innings, but in the later innings he has a sac fly and a 2-run double. He just missed a grand slam in the 6th inning. 2-2 on Lowry. There you go. You bring your glove, you get a souvenir, and you get a kiss.
He's got my first baseman's glove there.
A Hal McRae powder blue jersey. How about that? 3 balls and 2 strikes on Lowry. Junis did not have good numbers at spring training this year, and I talked to pitching coach Dave Island about that. Way inside, and Lowry is on with a leadoff walk. Dave was saying that Junis doesn't really have an overpowering pitch, but he has enough pitches to get outs at the big league level. But it's very common for a guy to be in big league camp for the first time and get excited, and you know, we see it as a spring training game. Sometimes they see it as a big league game. You're at big league spring training, you're facing big league hitters, the big league staff is watching you, and he may have been overthrowing some of his pitches and just kind of got out of his game. But Dave felt like that was a learning experience for him. And now Chris Davis lifts it into deep right center field, and Alex on the edge of the track for out number 1. Let's go to Joel.
And maybe, Ryan, that's a little bit with what happened in his first batter. Almost everybody that when they come up the first time is nervous, but a lot of pitchers when they come up, or players for that matter, are waiting for that call. They're expecting it. In the case of Jake, he was out to dinner the other night with his wife Brienne, had no inclination that this was coming yesterday, and before the food could be delivered after they had ordered, got the call, sent the food back, and had to make all the phone calls. So they left the restaurant. But he said that his wife Brienne would be here, his dad Jody and mom Jennifer from Illinois, and he and Brienne have a twin boy and girl, Nellie and Junis. And they were actually all here, at least he and Brienne and their twins, last September when he was honored as the Northwest Arkansas Pitcher of the Year. He was a guest of ours, Jeff Montgomery and I. Here he is now in the big leagues.
Driven down into the right field corner by Stephen Vogt. And Lowry will be held at third, close at second base, but Vogt is in there with a double. And second and third with 1 down. I'll bet that meal tasted pretty good.
Yeah.
After finding out you're going to the big leagues for the first time.
Well, Joel said they sent it back. I guess they got too excited, didn't need it.
Well, we'll see how he pitches with men in scoring position.
Joel, did you say that they sent the food back? So they didn't exactly eat the dinner then?
No, well, I think they were so excited and so shocked that they wanted to leave and go make all the phone calls to let all the family know.
Oh.
So it's that rare time where I don't know that they would have even tasted the food, because they were caught so off guard and didn't see it coming. They were just kind of going about their off day, and then he was going to be preparing for his next start. So at that point it was, let's go make all the phone calls and let everyone in the world know.
And maybe who knows if you can even eat a meal when you're that excited.
But how cool is that to be able to be out to dinner with your wife and to be able to get that news and celebrate that with her in that moment together. That doesn't always happen that way.
Nope. Congratulations to him.
2-1 on Ryan Healy. Jake Junis is the 5th Royals pitcher tonight. Just missed outside, 3-1. He is 24 years old, 6'2", 225 pounds. And now the bases are loaded with 1 out. He has walked 2 in the inning. Ned Yost also shared that Junis's only start with AAA Omaha was against Colorado Springs, and his oldest son is the third base coach for Colorado Springs. So the Royals obviously got the evaluation from the staff at AAA Omaha, but Ned could call his son and say, hey, what did you think about our guy? They're about to call up from the minor leagues.
Yep.
And he got a good report from his son. So using another angle to evaluate Junis before making his big league debut. Yonder Alonso with the bases loaded, 1 out. Slider is inside. Lowry walked with 1 out. Vogt doubled, and now Healy has just walked. On the ground to Hosmer. He'll come to the plate. Out there. Back to first. Double play.
Oh, man, they got it the long way.
That was Eric Hosmer's way of trying to prevent Jake Junis from giving up a run in his big league debut.
Oh, what an arm. That's a long way to get it, but they got it.
He'll be telling his big league debut story for a long time. Walks 2, he gives up a double, but no runs, and gets a hug from Mike Moustakas, and got a big play from Eric Hosmer to make it a scoreless first major league inning.
Yeah, I'll say.
So that's one of the things Joel and Monty will be talking about coming up after the game. Boulevard Royals Live. Scott Alexander also called up with Jake Junis. Pitched very well tonight. He faced 7 and retired 7. Frankie Montas will pitch the bottom of the 9th inning with Chesler Cuthbert, Alcides Escobar, and Raul Mondesi coming up. 9 out of 10 times on a ground ball like that in a 6-run game in the 9th inning, Eric Hosmer fields that ground ball, and if there's a double play to be had, he's going to throw to second base.
Right.
But I think he was doing whatever he could to make Jake Junis's big league debut as memorable as possible, because that is not a double play you see very often.
No, and Hosmer knows to go to second base there, but he's picking up his teammate. And Drew continued to get it. He says, I'm not going to put that in my pocket. We're going to get out of this inning. Got to pick him up.
Drew knows something or two about hanging on to an important baseball.
Yeah, he does.
Cuthbert goes the other way. Deep into the corner. Joyce is back, and he makes the catch and bangs into the wall.
That's a long way. He hit that ball into the wind, too. Impressive swing by Cuthbert. But even more impressive was the catch. Joyce didn't give up on this, sticks his glove out there and lands right in it. Yeah. Frankie Montas says, thank you. Save a little rally of his own there.
Escobar with one out. He is 1 for 3 tonight. One and one. Royals scored their 2 runs in the 8th inning. They had gone 19 straight innings without scoring a run. 2-2 on Escobar. Andrew Triggs, the one-time Royals farmhand, pitched 6 scoreless innings for Oakland. Ryan Dole pitched a scoreless 7th. The Royals scored the 2 runs against Liam Hendricks.
Meantime, Escobar is trying to square up a good fastball pitcher by Frankie Montas. Mid to upper 90s slider changeup. Ooh. Good slider away. Big arm, Montas. There you go. Hold that ball aside like that. Get a little pressure on it from the middle finger and snap it.
And now Raul Mondesi. Tomorrow night, Jason Vargas, who had a great start at Houston in his season debut, and right-hander Jesse Hahn. Coverage begins at 6:30. First pitch at 7:15. No balls and 2 strikes. On paper, that did not look like a good matchup for Jason Vargas. But did he carve up the Astros or what?
Wow.
And when I say matchup, you're talking about a left-hand pitcher, a fly ball left-hand pitcher against all those dangerous right-handers with that short porch. And they could not figure out Jason Vargas. Drilled into deep center field. Back goes Davis over the second wall.
Woo-wee. That's what happens against a guy who throws mid to upper 90s, and you have a short, compact swing like that and let Montas supply the power. Look at this. Oh, man.
What?
Yeah, that's some
pitch 99.
That's some 99. And if you see with a controlled swing like that, what happens? There you go. 436 feet.
99 miles an hour.
And he quickly deposited it over the second tier. There you go. There's a little sample of what's to come. Beautiful swing.
1-2 on Alex. 436 feet.
Oh.
103 miles an hour off the bat, so it went out faster than it came in. And he's going to have his struggles. He's 21 years old, but he has done enough things in the first week and a half to show you why the Royals want him at this level and gaining major league experience.
That's right.
I mean, the comparison has been made to Alcides Escobar, where when Escobar was a young Royal, they really just wanted defense from him, and anything offensively would be a bonus. And no slight to Esky, but he wasn't hitting 99-mile-an-hour fastballs 436 feet.
Nope, sure wasn't.
3 balls and 2 strikes on Alex.
That was a bomb. Impressive. That alone could be the highlight of the night for the Royals.
Simeon backhands, and that'll do it. The A's win the series. If you go back to last year, they had 6 consecutive non-winning series. So they win 8-3, and now the Oakland A's have won 8 consecutive games against the Royals. 8-3 is our final. We'll be right back.